I wasn't ready for what was coming next. So we go back inside the yurt and we start the plant medicine process. And at this point, he brings in a medicine woman. And this medicine woman is reassuring me that you're going to be okay, that things are going to be intense, but we'll be here to guide you through it. And that they were. The initial experience, I like to tell people, was like going straight through a black hole at 1,000,000 miles per minute with the greatest sense of joy that you've ever experienced. I did it, guys. I faced myself. I went and I did the plant medicine. Now, I know a lot of you guys may be asking, what kind of plant medicine was it? Where can I get it? Trust me, if you haven't done the necessary work as far as regulating your physiologic emotions in response to your emotions, this is not for you. If you haven't done the hours of therapy to trust yourself, this is not for you. If you haven't learned the importance of meditation and developed a relationship with your breath as a stable foundation, this is not for you. Let me start the story by sharing where this all took place. When I walked up to the shaman, he was in this huge yurt. Now, I didn't know what a yurt was until recently, but it's basically this huge tent where you can go in, and this is where all of the magic happened per se, because the first hour and a half was spent basically in a therapy session. We sat down next to each other and he asked me to remember my earliest memory. And little did I know, my earliest memory is of abandonment. I tried to sleep with my mom and dad in their bed, and they told me no, I need to go back to my bed. And I was hurt, and so I just slept on the floor next to them. And that's my earliest memory. And through the hour and a half, I talked about my childhood, I talked about the relationship with my dad, I talked about the relationship with authority, and it all started to make sense why I am the way that I am and how I respond to the world the way that I do. This was an unintended reward for this experience because I had no idea that I was going to release all of the trauma that I released. Now, I like to think of this experience as a physiologic trauma release where you're literally taking the tension from the muscles that have been stored and built up over years and years and years of suppression. So this was important for me to do because I had spent years, especially the past 5 years, working with therapists, restructuring the relationship that I had with my father, reorganizing the agreements that I had with my mother and my family in general, and it's been tough. I'll do another video on the importance of forgiving your parents, the importance of forgiving your past, the importance of recognizing the trauma that is within all of us and being able to put in the necessary effort to release that from our daily life. Now, this experience that I had with the plant medicine was powerful because there was intention behind it. There was intention behind how we were going to dive into myself, dive into my past, dive into my history, and release myself from it. So the first hour and a half was just that, an information sharing, almost like a reassurance of what the shaman was feeling when I first walked in. Now, after this hour and a half session, we went outside. And as we went outside, there was a series of chanting, songs, like beat on my chest, beat on my back. It was like nothing I ever experienced before. The weather outside was a little bit cold, so I had to work with the emotions of, okay, I don't like being cold, I don't like being here. How can I work through this? Well, it was easy because the work that I was doing was very, very challenging because I had to dive deep inside my mind, dive deep inside my history, and remember the pain, remember the experiences that I had as a child, and release the tension from my body. Now, we did something that was also called cord cutting. Cord cutting, the way it was explained to me, was I basically need to remember the people who I don't want to have sex with anymore. And I picked a few women who I had a sexual relationship with them in the past and no longer want to have a sexual relationship with. This, in turn, mentally, emotionally, physiologically, releases me from the connection that we had when we were having sex. Now, moving forward, the point of doing all that is to remain free from those sexual partners, to break the chaos, to break the cord that was developed during our time together, and to remove it from my life. So in my mind, in my heart, and in my body, I am no longer engaging in sexual connections with them. I'm no longer entertaining the idea of being together with them. And that for me was a huge release. Why? Because I love hard. I pour all of myself into the relationships, and in doing so, I created an enmeshment. In doing so, I created a codependence that kept me from being all of me. It kept me tied to those experiences. It kept me tied to those people. And this experience with the plant medicine helped me release. I'm so grateful to the shaman because he allowed me to be vulnerable, to be open, to be scared, to not have it right the entire time, to go back and figure out what I was really feeling. And that is a gift. And so that lasted about an hour and a half. So the first hour and a half was the therapy session where we're going back and we're talking about all the things that make me me. The second hour and a half was us being outside, being with nature, working through all the physiologic expressions, and physically releasing my tension from my body. And let me tell you, after those two experiences, I was drained, emotionally, physically, and mentally drained. I wasn't ready for what was coming next. So we go back inside the yurt and we start the plant medicine process. And at this point, he brings in a medicine woman. And this medicine woman is reassuring me that you're going to be okay, that things are going to be intense, but we'll be here to guide you through it. And that they were. The initial experience, I like to tell people, was like going straight through a black hole at 1,000,000 miles per minute with the greatest sense of joy that you've ever experienced. And I don't know how to articulate it better than that, because the euphoria that I was feeling was only matched by the intensity of the experience. And by that I mean I had to be with my breath. There were times where I felt like I was floating. There were times where I felt like I was falling. There were times where I felt like I was out of my body, and I had to be with my breath. And this is what I mean when I say trust. I had to trust the people that were around me. I had to trust the work that I had done within myself all these years to know that I'm safe, to know that I am in control of my body, to know that whatever is going on around me, I am going to be in control. I am going to be of calm demeanor, and I'm going to be safe. And thank you to the shaman, thank you to the medicine woman that was there with me, you know who you are, and allowing me to go on that journey and allowing me to be with myself. And I'm grateful for them. They definitely held it down. I wasn't doing it by myself, but there were moments where I felt like only I can get through this. Only I can be the person that I need to be to safely get through this experience. And I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy. It was not easy. There were moments where I felt scared. There were moments where I felt like I wanted to move around a lot. There were moments where I felt like I wanted to get up and run. But I was safe. Now, this experience only lasted about 45 minutes, and I didn't like purge. I didn't throw up. I didn't like feel sick to my stomach. It was an outer body experience, truly. And by the end of it, I'm even scared to say this right now because of how powerful the experience was. But I'm not afraid of death anymore. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of losing anything. I felt a deep groundedness, a deep connection, a deep sense of power that no matter what happens to me, no matter where I am, no matter what's going on, if I'm alive, I'm good. And I know that is liberating and intoxicating and truly remarkable, because I don't feel that every day. I still feel the anxieties and stresses and fears, but I'm able to move through it quickly because I understand that no matter what happens, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. You're protected. I'm protected. And this experience allowed me to release attachment to the trauma, release attachment to the fear, release attachment to the anxiety that comes with being, coming from the past that I came from. And we all experience our levels of trauma. People ask me a lot of times, like, how am I relatively wise? How do I know all these things? Well, the answer is pain. I've been through a lot. I've experienced a lot. And it's taken a lot of courage, a lot of tough conversations, a lot of tears, a lot of long nights, a lot of depression, feeling lonely, to get to a place where I know what love is inside of me, where I know what I have to offer as a human, what service I can be to the world. Because a lot of times we get lost. We get lost in the hustle and bustle of the day. We get lost trying to get the house, trying to get the car, trying to find the wife, trying to find the husband. We get lost in that. And it can be scary when you don't know what's going on inside of here, but there's so much going on inside of the world, outside of the world around you. So this is me sharing my journey, sharing my story. I'm not promoting plant medicines, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. What I am saying is that you need to be prepared through the work of therapy, through the work of regulating your emotions, through the work of maintaining healthy relationships in your life. You need to feel safe before you go through an experience like this, because it is unnerving. Literally, my nerves were rewiring themselves. There was a moment where I was kind of shaking for a few minutes after it had calmed down, and I was wondering what was happening, but it was my nervous system resetting itself. It was my nervous system redefining what anxiety is. My nervous system was redefining what pain was. My nervous system was redefining what fear was. And being able to sit in that and go through that and appreciate that was a gift. It's truly a gift. So if you have any questions and you found this video helpful to you, please like and share it. Yeah. This is an opportunity. If you like this video, if you want to share this video, and if you want to continue to see me on YouTube, please like and share. And I will see you guys on the next video. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to do the thing and leave a message in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.